Hey friends, your girl Brittany here with BB's Crafts, and if you are new here, welcome. Well, today we are going to alter this easel. A lot of you said you wanted to see how I did it. It's super simple, and I'm going to tweak a few things a little bit. And then also, I've been asked this before, and I just didn't do it. Kind of forgot, went over my head, but also asking how I make the tool shaker bowl, so I'm going to do that as well. So go ahead, grab your supplies and come Alright, so let's go ahead and grab your easel. Make sure you measure it beforehand. This one actually turned out to be the same as my other ones, but you know how sometimes manufacturing is not always the greatest. So go ahead and double check your measurements. So for mine, it was 5 7/8 in height and 4 1/4 in width. So I already have my page cut out for that, and I'm going to use some of my scrap pieces from the Crafty Fairy Tale Getaway that is by the Fairy Tale Club. And then for my pocket, now for the original easels that I made, these are I did a 2-inch pocket on this one, but I want to make it just a smidgen higher because I feel like 3 inches will probably be a little too high, so I'm gonna go at 2.5. But when you start getting in the flow of things, you can go ahead and do it to the height that works for you. And then again, it's at 4 1/4 in width. So we need to create our gussets. So I have my page here. This measures at 4 inches and 7 1/4. So 7 1/4 in the width, and then it's 4 inches tall. And then we're going to take our scoring tool and our scoreboard, and starting on the long side, we're going to score at 1/2 inch, 1 inch, and 1.5. Rotate it to the short side, 1/2 inch, 1 inch, 1.5. Rotate again, 1/2 inch, 1 inch, 1.5. So on your 2 short sides here, and then 1 long side, 1/2 inch, 1 inch, 1.5 on 3 sides. And then before we start going ahead and burnishing that and everything, I'm going to apply my background here. And this, I just was really simple about it. I added regular ATG tape. You can go ahead and add score tape if that tickles your fancy. But I'm just going to use, it worked out well. Hopefully it doesn't fall apart. But I do add glue to my page here. Add it all over. I'm starting at my top corner and then lining it up with the edge and applying that. Okay, and then I'm just going to smooth her all down. Alright, so now we're going to take our piece. I'm going to cut before I go ahead and do my score lines. So you see all these all these 6 little squares here. We're going to cut these out on this side and on this side. But I do like to cut mine out at a little angle to avoid a bit of overhang. So I'm just going to go outside of the little squares there, just a smidgen at an angle. I'm going to do the same on this side. And then do the same on this. Alright, and then we are going to start folding. So I'm going to flip it the other way because this is going to be my outside. So I'm going to flip it the other way, and just doesn't matter which side you start on, you're going to fold it the same way. So you're going to go inward, and we're going to do the mountain valley fold, and then we're going to go out, and then back in. And I'm going to repeat that to the other side. So inward, out, and in. So now we have this. Before I go any further, I'm actually going to add stitching to the front of my pocket, so I will be right back. Okay, now that I stitched the front of my pocket, and on my original one too, I actually matted the front, but this is made in heavier cardstock, so that's why I did it on the actual collection itself. But you would just have to measure depending on how much of a border you want to leave, and then mat your front with your decorative cardstock. So now that we have our folds, we are just going to, oops, okay. I like to add a little bit of hot glue towards the end so it kind of stays together. Alright, so it doesn't like leave me when I'm trying to put everything in. So I got that. Now I am going to add glue to my flaps up with the edge on the side, and then lining it up with the bottom so we can kind of get it all nice and even. Take my bone folder and smooth everything out. And honestly, that's really it for doing the easel. I'm telling you, super simple. If you want to paint your wooden part beforehand, if you want to distress beforehand, I would suggest doing that, or distress afterwards so you can have like the little distressing on the edge there, or if you want the legs and stuff to be a different color, I suggest painting that beforehand. But that's honestly all there is to the pocket. And doesn't it look better with a higher pocket versus the first one? Because see, this one was 2 inches and this one's 2.5. So it does look a lot better, and it will keep things a little bit more secure in your pocket there. So now, go ahead, grab your tool and your sequins, and we are going to work on the shaker bow. Alright, so now we're going to work on the shaker bow. Go ahead and grab your tool. I cut mine. I just kind of eyeball it to see how long I want it. This is about 7 inches, and then I'm going to seal it with the rubber band, but then I am going to wrap it up with some yarn, and I already have my button in the middle because I'm going to use this button as my center. And then of course my sequin mix. So I know it's kind of hard to tell, so super sorry guys, but what I'm going to do, grab a little spoonful here of my sequin mix and place it on both sides. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to fold this part over. So the long side, I'm going to fold it over. I'm going to make sure it overlaps. I'm folding this part over as well. Now I'm going to take my right side and I'm going to fold that over. And I'm going to hold my finger here just so I can kind of keep my sequin in place. And then I'm folding this side over to make sure it overlaps. And then I just kind of squish it all together like the Mountain Valley fold, like accordion. Now I'm going to take my rubber band and wrap it around. And plus too, I like using a rubber band because I can go ahead and shape my bow before I completely seal it. So if it's not like completely in the middle, I can go ahead and fix it. So I can go ahead and maneuver it by pulling the ends a little bit. And then if I have a little bit of overhang, I just snip that off. So that is the shaker bow. So now I'm going to take my yarn here and I'll place my center in the center. And then I'm going to take my yarn and I'm going to wrap it around. And then now I'm just going to tie off my yarn. And I just wrap it enough so it covers the rubber band. And then, ta-da! We have our cute little shaker bow. Like I said, this tool is a little bit more flimsier than the last tool I used, so this one just feels like meh. But make sure you just find a tool that works for you, and make sure, again, you check your sequin mix. You don't want anything too small going into your tool if it has really big holes to it. And there you have it, super quick and easy tutorial on how to make the pocket for your easel. And to have fun with it, I cut out some circles with a circle stitch die and added my bow in the middle so it kind of looks like mini ears. Absolutely love it. So thank you so much, everyone. If you like this tutorial, make sure you hit that like button and share it with your friends if you so want to. And I will see you in the next video. Bye.